The number one dirt late model racer in the country switched to a different shock package for 2026, but there aren't a ton of other teams on them. On this episode of Dirt Tracker Daily presented by Horsepower Hydration, we'll talk who else is on the Olin shocks, at least that I can find, and why others likely haven't switched. Plus, I've got a race car driver having quietly the best stretch of his career, some race updates, and more. With the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, Bobby Pierce has stretched that championship gap just a bit over the last two races. It'd been a nip and tuck between Pierce and Nick Hoffman, with the pair kind of trading weeks atop the standings. But with Hoffman 9th and 12th at West Virginia Motor Speedway this past weekend, while Pierce was winning and finishing 4th, Pierce has now got a 44-point advantage. It goes to show that just one or two very slightly off nights means a whole lot in a battle against a guy like Pierce. Among the top 10 drivers in the sport right now, though, Pierce pretty much stands alone with his current car setup. Yes, he's still on the Longhorn, but BP32 has been running those Olin shocks this year, with that team swapping away from Bilstein's. Last October, we broke the story here on the show that Olin's was making a return to dirt late model racing and that Kevin Rumley had been developing a new package with them for at least some period of time during 2025. Those Olins are available through Longhorn Dynamics, and we've seen both Rumley's 6-car with Hudson O'Neal in the seat and Pierce take them to victory lane. O'Neal, though, doesn't run the Olins on his SSI Longhorn, with crew chief Jason Durham instead going with Penske's for this season. He'd been on a tear with double-digit wins through May, but he hadn't won in 13 races going back to Eagle on May 14th. Looking around, I can only find a handful of drivers confirmed on the Olins at the moment, including Jason Fager, who won the Summer National Show at Coles County last week on them. And I'm going to apologize to my YouTube brother here in Fager. I know this is a damaged picture of his car, but you get a really nice view of the Olins inside the left rear of that car. This picture coming from Paul Arch from the Dirt Late Model Dream. Other runners include Michael Leach, Dustin Sorensen, and the Spire car that Carson Hocevar ran at the Dream and with the Flow Series. Other drivers we know at least tried them. That includes Tim McCready, Mike Marlar, and Ethan Dodson. The Michael Leach thing, that one shouldn't shock anyone, as that car and Leach are out of the Longhorn shop. Leach's dad, a partner with Steve Arpin in the Longhorn company. For Pierce, though, he's already to 15 wins. He's leading the Outlaw Championship and is coming off the Dirt Late Model Dream score. As we get into the summer here, knowing how often some of these teams swap technical bits, you have to wonder how much longer some of these other cars might stay with their current packages. Rumley's success and Pierce's continued reign are kind of hard to argue with. There are, I think, a couple of reasons here why guys haven't swapped, or at least we haven't seen more guys swapped. First of all, it's definitely a risk, to do so, especially mid-season. And then teams have a lot of notes and history with their current setups, whether that's on Bilstein's or Penske's or others. There's also still a lot of support for those other builders through some of the consulting groups and even Longhorn Dynamics and guys like Vinny Giuliani. Unless teams are really out to lunch, they may not be motivated to change, especially mid-season. The other thing I've heard is that the Olins are a little bit more expensive than some of the other options, the Bilsteins and things like that, so that could also be a reason. But we know early on, even Bobby Pierce and Dad Bob slowly worked them into their program, sometimes only running the Olins on certain corners. But at this point, it's clearly not slowing them down. Before we talk more, if you're not one of those 50,000 people who are subscribed and you want to join in with a big community of dirt racing fans, we would certainly love to have you here. We talk dirt racing, news, rumors, race results, commentary, all of that stuff here all the time. And subscribing will keep you in the loop on all of it. And it doesn't matter whether it's sprint cars, late models, big events. If it's important in dirt racing, we will be talking about it right here. You can hit that subscribe button on YouTube or the podcast places. You can also like and follow Dirt Tracker on Facebook. That's going to make sure you never miss a fresh episode of the show. Video versions of the daily are posted to YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. You can also listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and at DIRTRACKR.com. And we've got full show transcripts at DIRTRACKR.com/daily. Everything free to do, free to sign up, free to subscribe, free to watch, all of that stuff, and that's not going to change. Jumping back to the weekend, Brent Marks still winless this season with High Limit, but he's not winless in a 410 sprint car anymore. He won the World of Outlaws show back on Friday at Knoxville and has officially put himself back on the radar this season after a very difficult start. We've documented the changes to his car in recent weeks, and he stacked up a lot of podiums. A schedule posted to his Facebook page shows they are headed for Skagit this week and not Huset's, but we definitely need to add Marks to the conversation around winning some of these big races here into the summer. The other driver I want to call out here is Garrett Williamson, only 17th on Friday at Knoxville, but against a 60-car field, just making that feature, I think, is a win. But Williamson in the midst of the best stretch of racing in his career right now, 6 top 9 finishes in his last 9 starts. That includes 2 podiums and what nearly looked like it could have been his first victory. Williamson led his first laps on tour with the Outlaws in nearly a year last week at Angel Park Speedway before things went sideways on him there. He ended up 12th with a crash, but ran up front, led laps, looked really strong there. He was the Outlaw Rookie of the Year in 2025 and is knocking on the door of that kind of Outlaw front-running group here just in year 2. Nice progress for him, though, and I feel like that first win feels like it's pretty close. Elsewhere this weekend, Carter Sarf was crowned Indiana Midget Week champion after the finale was rained out. Justin Grant winning 2 of 5 races, including Saturday at Hobstop. Incredibly, though, Jacob Boxell currently leading the season-long title hunt by 3 over Grant. The Four Kings rookie ended Midget Week with a podium and has 6 top 10s in 7 races. Up next for the USAC Midgets is the BC 39 at Indy here at the end of the month. In Summer Nationals action, Jason Fager, Shannon Babb, Brian Shirley picked up weekend wins. Tanner English currently leads the point standings, but that week 1 champ won't be crowned here for a while because 2 of those races are still set to be made up. So we're not going to know the week 1 champion for probably 2 weeks here, 3 weeks. Week 2 does start today at Wilmot with West Liberty, Davenport, Dubuque, Farmer City, Peevely, and Lincoln all coming up this week. Some notable sprint car winners from the last couple of days included Craig Mintz and Zess Sabo with the All-Stars as Ohio Sprint Speed Week gets rolling. They're at Wayne County tonight with racing going on through Saturday. Notable here as well, the Ohio Speed Week finale has been moved from Atomic to Wayne County. That was just announced here a little bit ago. Lots of things floating around online in the rumor mill right now about Atomic, and this probably isn't a great sign. Jet Barnes, Dominic Gordon, and Trey Starks were NARC winners on the road to Skagit Super Dirt Cup. Impressive stuff from the 15-year-old driver in Jet Barnes. Sam Haverteep and Xavier Doney were Power Eye winners. Jake Blackhurst won with the IRA, and Ryan Timms won the Sunday show at Huset's with 42 cars in attendance. Not bad for a Sunday show. Obviously, there was a lot of national touring regulars there as guys tuning up before the big cash with the Outlaws later this week. Before we shut down, if you want another way to keep up with everything going on in dirt racing, you can find DIRTRACKR on Patreon, patreon.com/DIRTRACKR. Totally free to sign up there. And I post a lot of things there, include the daily shows and a lot of other content. If you want to step up to the top tier premium membership, that gets you the daily show completely ad-free. No platform ads, no ad reads from me. It's just the dirt racing stuff. There's a bunch of other perks there as well. You can check that out, patreon.com/DIRTRACKR. You can also kind of do the same thing over on YouTube. Hit the join button at youtube.com/DIRTRACKR for channel memberships, things like that. However you choose to support, though, everything keeps DIRTRACKR rolling along. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day out there. We'll see you back here in the next one.